Radio Station gang. Thank y'all for coming through episode 35 of Supreme Clientele. That is crazy to say out loud, man. I was thinking back on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to make us a highlight reel of how far we've come, bro, from our Instagram days. And even though we considered the Instagram is the beginning of the numbering, so those episodes are included. You know, sometimes you gotta remember, what you came from to see how far you've come from. So it's to be here at episode 35 with you, bro. Thank you for showing up again. Always glad to kick it with you, my brother. How's your week been, man? Good to see you.
Yeah, vice versa, my man. It's been good. It's been pretty lackluster, I'll be honest. Nothing worth. I mean, besides these damn X-Men episodes, I don't know if you caught it yet.
No,
I won't get too much into.
So Wednesdays is like I'm working all day and I come home and it's showtime, but like that's always my treat. Like either after I get off the show or like early Thursday morning, because Thursday is like one of my days off. So I know Verno was talking about it in the chat though. I'm hyped though, man. Like
it's like
I'm up to date so far, but I can't wait for the new one.
No, yeah, man. I realized the last couple of weeks, every time the guys will mention it on a Wednesday and I watch it, it's like I'm given a narration or play-by-play of every scene. I'm watching like, yo, guys, this scene did this and that, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta be mindful of that. And I can't reveal too much because not everyone's gotten the chance to see it. But it's so hard, bro. Because I just like even today, you'll appreciate some of they were brief, like just sprinkled. Spot them, blink if you miss some cameos, but you'll respect them, bro. They were.
Hell yeah, dude! It's been so good. Like, and like Vern was saying in the back chat, man, the way they pulled from all these different fabled X-Men storylines, like big major stuff, and like worked it all so seamlessly. Like, if you had told me that we would have, like, I thought Life Death would be like its whole own like episode. The fact that like that got cut in half with a Mojoverse type of episode with like Jubilee and Roberto Costa like kind of trying to hold their own. Dude, that was like, I just love how it pulls from each and every corner of the X universe. Storylines old and new, like relatively speaking, but fantastic, man. We're gonna get into it more. Not to cut you off, sorry, but yeah, next week it's going to be our kind of like we're doing Inferno with our boy Verno, who's in the chat. Verno Station. I can't wait, and that's going to be kind of like our precursor. We're going to talk about our X-Men '97 experiences thus far, and kind of use that as a segue and intro into and obviously Inferno is inspired by these new episodes. But yeah, man, it's been incredible, dude. Shout out, and not to be forgotten. Go ahead, bro. No, go ahead. I'm about to cut you off.
No, one thing, they might be setting up Zorn, bro, without going into too much detail. For all you Zorn lovers out there,
that's good.
It's looking good.
Dude, I feel like they can do no wrong right now. It's been fantastic so far. I said this on my Instagram, though. Not to be forgotten about. Y'all check out Invincible, man. The new season of Invincible has been incredible. Since they've come back from that season 2 mid-season break, they have been on fire. Starting with the Rexplode versus the Lizard League fight. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but it was amazing. Like in the way they've developed characters, whether it be Mark or Amber, his ex-girlfriend now. But I think it's been fantastic. It's been great not having Omni around. I think it's given that universe a chance to like really focus on all of its other colorful characters. I love Seth Rogen as Alan. Just so many great voices, so many great characters. So yeah, y'all don't sleep in Invincible season 2. That has been just as fire.
Yo, speaking of that, I had seen people posting about like some Agent Spider, and I was like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, what comic book did I miss? Like, what is it? Yeah. I see. Yeah, I did. What sells? Sal, you did a great job with that. Yeah. But I was like, yo, like, who is this character, bro? Like, and so lo and behold, it was Invincible. The last episode, spoilers. But there was a comic book that Kirkman did in the early 2000s, like 2005, Marvel Team Up. And it was him and Corey Walker. And it was like it was cool because it was like you could put that Marvel team up issue in the run of Invincible and consider it an issue of Invincible because they're still chronicling Mark's journey throughout the multiverse. But you know, I've had this issue. I actually, fun fact, that's not even. I'm not even on into spec like that, bro. But like, it's just cool when you have something that's like, I got this shit in the dollar bin just back in the day because I was like, oh shit, it's Invincible, you know, Spider-Man. And I wanted to know more about Invincible at the time. I hadn't really, that was like my first Invincible comic, to be honest, because I owned a few Invincible comics from like he had gotten like this all blue costume. It was like around issue 40 or something. I collected like that one arc and then I dipped. But that Marvel team up was the first Invincible, my introduction to him. But that issue's always been a fun one, and it was so cool to see the what they borrowed or what translated, you know, from the scene. And they took quite a bit. I mean, not just because the scene in the show was very brief, but it was almost like the comic was like the storyboard for the animation, which was kind of cool to see that translate, you know. So
yeah,
shout out to them. I didn't think they'd touch that.
That's something that the comic did so well. I felt like when it flirted with the like the big two and those universes and like the characters it brought into play to either like make fun of or pay homage to those. Like I love that about the events. I love like how it had characters that very much reminded you of somebody else from either Marvel or DC, but were also their own thing entirely. I thought like that was one of the best parts about the comic book, and the way he took inspiration from, you know, all those comics you read growing up. So yeah, hell yeah. Shout out to Robert Kirkman and the team at Skybound, man. Doing a great job.
My man's, you know, it seems like he's got like Midas touch right now. Like, man, you know, what? He can, whatever he's touching is gonna shoot up, bro.
Dude, facts, absolutely. Transformers been on fire, the whole Energon Universe. So yeah, like I said earlier, it makes me or many times before, makes me mad I didn't get in on that bidding round that he had, you know. Looking for investors, I think before they launched this whole Energon Universe, he knew what was around the corner. We didn't, and you know, now I got nothing but regrets. But yeah, more success to that guy. Nothing but goodness for the game. I feel like it's good for us all when he wins like that.
Yo, no, I was gonna. Well, this is so random or off topic, but I was gonna say, were him and Todd around the same age when they hit success with comics? Because Kirkman was pretty young when he got big.
Him and Todd? Right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I know Todd like considers him to be like a prodigal son type deal, and
like
that's a good
protege.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would assume they probably are, because I think he saw a lot of himself in Kirkman when he came along, and you know, he's always referred to him as like the kid that, you know, that really bore the influences of being an image baby, being in line for Spawn #1. Yeah, like he always had a point of pride of that. Christina in the chat. Christina hung out with Christina last night on Paul and the 619 stream. Thank you for coming through, Christina.
Nice.
Let me say hi to the chat real quick before we get too far ahead of ourselves. We got Manny in the building. Manny Station, brother. Station, bro. What is up? James Phelps. Station James, good to see you.
Phelps, last week I saw your comment. I didn't get to address it, but about my PS4. I told you guys I got a PS4, but my update was I can finally get online. Like I had this whole issue with my account where they were sending a verification number to a phone number I didn't use anymore. So now I'm finally online and I can play with the friends. That was why I was geeked about it. Just
yeah. How have you been enjoying Spider-Man so far, bro?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I've been so overwhelmed just because I was starting to play Spider-Man 2 and I realized I hadn't played Miles Morales first, bro. So I had to play Miles Morales first. So now I'm making my way through Miles Morales, and that's been super dope. So yeah, Spider-Man 2 is I played the first like the opening mission of Spider-Man 2. I'm gonna save that till I finish Miles.
I just meant like Spider-Man in general, just like because I'm an Xbox. Unfortunately, I have an Xbox. I'm not a big gamer, but I just kind of like stuck with the Xbox. But I would love to have. I would not mind having a PS5 to play that Spider-Man, dude. Like that game looks so sick. Like to me, that's like one of the few games I play on a regular basis is Batman Arkham Knight. Like every couple months, I'll just restart that game, restart my campaign from scratch. That game is like forever replayable to me. But I know Spider-Man would be one of those games, like immortal games that I would always enjoy. So one day, I'm holding that.
That's true. You know what? If you could try Guardians of the Galaxy, a lot of people slept on that one. It because it's made by the same people who did the Avengers. The Avengers it's worth checking out, but on a very it's very cheap. I'll say that. Check it out very cheaply if you can find it for cheap. But Guardians of the Galaxy, I feel like that wasn't talked about enough, and I think that gives you an experience like Batman and Spider-Man, where you feel like you're the Guardians, and like it emulates like the movie with this, it's got the whole soundtrack and it's worth checking out. But yeah, Spider-Man, definitely, bro. I've been playing the first one for like I couldn't get online with my PlayStation. I got my PlayStation back in November, but I've been replaying the first one since like November, just off and on, just swinging. I started up a new campaign with my kid, beat that, but then I started New Game Plus mode. I'm like, I might as well, I'm here, it's just fun to swing around. And I think there might be fast travel. I think that's in the second one, but I will never fast travel in Spider-Man, bro. It's just so fun to zip around the city. You feel like you're Spidey, bro.
Absolutely. Like, dude, I even like that about the Batman Arkham Knight game. Like, why do I need the Batmobile when I can just like, now sometimes the Batmobile is handy, but yeah, I love gliding around, dude. It's great. Like, come on, man. That's part of what you're playing it for, is like that. And Spidey, like, web swinging is such an integral part of who he is. Like, that just looks so cool. So yeah, I completely feel you there. Couple more people snuck in here. Fable Station, brother. Fable came through last night on Paul. Thank you for coming through and supporting me last night on Paul's show, bro. Ninja in the house. Ninja, what up? Station. Who else we got? Anybody else I missed? Oh, the Godfather himself, Brother Joe. Yeah, he said, "What up, 9 panels?" We don't know who the hell that guy is, Brother Joe. He just keeps showing up for some reason. He said, Guardians of the Galaxy is legit. I second that. Hell yeah. All right, I'll check that one out, guys. Thanks for the recommendation. All right, man. Yeah, what do you say? You want to get into the new comics of the week? We only got 2 this week.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, check out this comic book.
Ooh, are these new?
I love it.
So good. All right, we'll start with the Return of Sacrificers, number 7. Rick Remender's and Max Fiumara's magnum opus on classism in the clouds. We got gods and the people that they're devout faithful that make these sacrifices to these gods to of their own family members, their loved ones, those closest to them, and we're basically we found out already that these sacrifices, basically they are essentially stealing joy, happiness, and all those good feelings, making it into a liquid mixture which revitalizes, makes you more youthful, makes you live longer, and the gods are consuming this. So the gods are essentially feeding off the happiness and joy of these kids below. And the way they do that is real insidious. All these towns have these children that are marked for sacrifice. Once they go to be sacrificed and they are sacrificed, they get into these giant like hair salon type chairs. Needle comes down, sucks up all that goodness out of them. They want them to have their experience it, because the last moments they want them to be happy. They bring in these kids who have grown up with nothing, had nothing. They pamper them, they feed them, they give them the whole 9. So these kids are just on cloud 9, super happy. And then it turns into this awful nasty thing where they're literally like feeding on these kids and these experiencing these amazing things for the first time in life. That ultra high, they capture that, literally bottle it,
the joy,
and drink
it.
And keeps them youthful. It keeps the gods youthful. So, but there's a delusion at play. There's illusion rather. There's a nastiness and a malevolence to these gods. They don't, they're not, they really don't care about these people below them. All they care about is themselves, their little high court, you know, those who are like them and like those beneath them, are literally food/drink. So, yeah, man, it's been incredible. Thoughts in general so far? This has been like yet again another great, fantastic Rick Remender creator-owned property, dude. The guy does not really miss when it comes to these.
I'm a Remender stan all day, bro. Any problems some people out there might have with him, I don't have with him. I've loved Rick Remender. Him and Matt Fraction are two writers I followed since they kind of come on the scene, and I was kind of always initially. Remender did take a few years because I remember hearing about Fear Agent, but I didn't really start taking notice of Remender until his Punisher. But cool fact, when Matt Fraction was finishing up his Punisher run, Rick Remender, they wrote together. It was like Fraction and Remender did like an art together.
Didn't they Howard taken on art for that one Howard too, didn't he? Yeah, dude, that was gnarly.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Dude, that Rick Remender Mad Fraction time on Punisher was. Y'all go check that out if you haven't already. That's obviously in Frankencastle.
It's gone.
If you haven't read Frankencastle, what are you doing out here, man?
I love that run. It's so fun, bro. That's such a great time.
Great. It's such. You talk about unique takes on the Punisher, dude. And like, Lord knows we've gotten our lion's share, but Jesus, man, that's just something else.
Black man Punisher. But no, so yeah, I love Remender, and I was saying that to lead into this. I realized I hadn't read I was skimming through like issue 6. I was like, this doesn't seem familiar. So I was like looking at issue 5. I was like, this kind of seems familiar, but I have no context of it. So I was like, I read some of issue 4. I was like, okay, this seems familiar. All right. I read the rest of it, like the end of issue 4. I was like, okay, I remember what's going on. So needless to say, I had to go through like issue 5, 3 issues. I knocked out 4 issues in 20 minutes, bro. I was shocked. Not my usual reading pace at all.
Yeah.
I had done the 3 issues of Sacrificers within 15 minutes, and then I had read Void Rivals in about 5. I mean, and Void Rivals isn't ever not. They're not too deep, but Remender can be deep, but he tends to let his but Remender lets his artists kind of do their job. He doesn't fill you with a lot of exposition and shit. He lets the artists fill in the blanks and shit, as he should. But no, great reads though. I would say this. I sometimes when I burn through a book, I'm worried that I was like, oh man, I don't feel like I got anything from that. It doesn't hold any weight, Not with this, he always has a great cliffhanger, man. So Luna is a cool character. Like, with Remender, you never know what's coming or going, bro. Like, I thought she was gonna die like 2 different times, and she's still hanging on. And he follows that motto. And I remember Joss Whedon said this long ago because he was talking about Angel. And because there's so many great characters on Angel, I know Joss Whedon's a hot topic, but Angel's a great show. That's a great product from a shit dude. He said, he believes any character, could be like they could be the main star. With that, he feels killing any character is like too easy. So he just likes to put his characters through a lot of turmoil. He's like, killing them's too easy. Death's too final.
Yeah,
you want them to go through shit, and so I feel like Remender always takes that approach. He's never too quick to off a character. He puts them through a lot of shit. So they come out the grinder on the other end, a very different character than what they started as. And you can see Luna's going through that right now, bro.
Absolutely. Very true and very topical for tonight, man. Because he puts Cap, we're going to get to his 2013 Cap run, and he does the same thing to Cap, dude. Like, death is kind of like any kind of way, bro. Cap kind of holds that personal philosophy. Death is the easy way out. But yeah.
Yep.
Great.
But I mean, no, this has been Fucking great issue. I didn't see it coming with the whole bird. I don't remember his name, but Bird Boy, Beak. We'll call him Beak in honor of New X-Men, since they did that in 97 today. But Beak, he's got the god powers now, bro. I don't know what's going on with that. He just kind of left her there to on her own defend for herself. He's like, I gotta go pay a visit to the gods. I owe them a beat down. But no, I'm very curious. I didn't know. Every time I think I know where this book is going, it throws a curveball, and it's a good curveball. I love it. It keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
It's great characters, great world, beautiful art. Max Fiumara, bro. He leveled up, bro. I don't.
No,
They
he
would.
did.
Did they do? No, Greg Tocchini did low, but I don't think they've ever really done a series like this before. I know he did that one, the Hood story. The Dark Ring Cabal, where it
Yeah.
had like the Jonathan Hickman story. Yeah, he worked with him on that.
It's
But
so good.
Max Fury Mara's just just a great comic all around.
Very good, yeah.
I'm rambling, but yeah.
Very true. Great points all. We got Vogs. Vogs, what up, man? Vogs, another great dude I hung out with last night on Paul and 619 and his amazing friends. Thank y'all for coming through and showing me some love tonight. I really appreciate that. Christine and Vogs. Good to see y'all. Yeah, so we got, just 2 covers for this one. They're okay. Nothing super crazy this time around. So this is kind of like, I guess this issue is the tale of 2 stories, right? We get this first part about, this town kind of getting destroyed by the tides and the the water coming up too high, and the second part is about Selena's journey, I guess kind of as an outcast now is I guess the best way to, or someone desperately searching for purpose and like what she's supposed to do, and where she's supposed to go in this world. I think she's completely lost. Her marriage is falling apart. She's kind of has nowhere to go. Anyway, I love the first part of this comic, if not more than the second part. On a
Visually, it's
yeah, dude. I love, like, once again, the way they do these gods, and like you were saying, the emotiveness, the expressiveness that Fiumara finds in these characters' eyes, man, and the facial expressions is freaking like one of my favorite parts about this comic book. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, town leader, I don't know if we ever get any names here. Homeboy is fed up. He sacrificed his only daughter, Bird
Boy's friend.
To this water god, Aquaticus or something. I forget what the fuck his name is.
The gods look so cool, bro. I'm not sorry to get. I was gonna start going on a tangent about how I love how he looks, but then it was reminding me of how I love how the sun god looks, and then I love how Luna looks, and then I love how Soluna looks. But it's just, he nailed these designs, bro. But this Aquatica dude it's so cool because he's, like you said, the emotiveness. There's like a up close shot of like his eyes. He's water, bro. He's just water. But you can see all the details and the emotion. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I love how
that's crazy.
He takes the summoning staff from the monk, kicks him over. The monk's like, listen, dude, like, we shouldn't aggravate our god, have faith. He's gonna work things out. He's like, bro, it's too late for that shit. He's like, have you looked around? He's like, give me that staff. He kicks him over, summons the Aquaticus, like basically the sacrificer's version of Poseidon, more or less. And he tells him, we face utter annihilation. We have done everything you asked of us. And Homeboy's like, I am not accountable for this storm. Like, he's just going to try to tell them all. He's like, bro, I gave my only daughter a sacrifice. He's like, you must help. And like, he like, looks down this look of defeat. Like you said, dude, look at his look at the desperateness of the character of the king on the left, and that look of resignation on, from the god on the right. I just love that, like, this back and forth they had. And he was like, all right, homeboy's like, all right, fine. So he goes out there and he's going to fight these like giant incoming swells, these giant incoming waves or whatever. you know, and he's like, you will not take my devout, you will not take, you know, my people or whatever. Is this about some petty slight or whatever? At first, Luna kind of knocks him off the tower. He manages to regain his footing and stands back up. But then when he looks back up, dude, like there is a tidal wave of massive is an understatement.
Monumental.
You know, monumental height coming down to obviously ruin this entire town and everything in it. And that's the beginning of our issue. We get this dope little. I love this little title page that also doubles as a map, kind of this world. Yeah, just great work by Fiumara again. This is one of those books like DC's Human Target. I felt like where they did the sensible thing, gave it a little hiatus. I think Human Target's hiatus was a little bit longer, but I'm glad they let this book and its artists catch up, and they didn't, you know, pull a Marvel where it was the first arc was over and we were on to the next one. You know what I mean?
Throw an artist on there. It doesn't matter if they've got the same visual style. Just put it on artists on it. That seems to be the modus operandi.
At this point, man, like anybody besides Max would just throw this thing into the trash can. I feel like he is just really taking the reins on this book and really like leveled, like you said, leveled up and made it his own. It's been fantastic, man. Yeah, I don't know. Anything you wanted to say about that opening salvo before we get into Saloon?
No, I'm not a fan of flying, and I've flown like once before, bro, and I did not have a good time with it. I had a fear before flying, and so I go on my plane ride, and I'm sitting in front of a dude who it's his first time flying. He's got a fear as well as I do, but the difference is I wasn't vocalizing it for everyone to hear. I was like, Jesus, bro, you don't got to sit there and talk about it out loud. I'm already thinking it, my man. Like we're on the same page, but you don't hear me over here doing that. But yeah, this was long. I was 22, but yeah, I don't like the idea of cruise seems like a very attractive idea. But I don't like the idea of being so. I just feel like it would be my luck. I'd be on a cruise and be like fucking Poseidon, bro. You know, like
so that's what you took from this. Like I'm not getting on a fucking ship anytime soon, motherfucker.
It reinforced my anxiety of that. I was like, "Yep, that's waiting for me out there, bro." You know, safe on land. But no, just that he, like you said, I think Fiumara does a good job. Just he's got this world realized, you know, and like the scale of those waves, like these are, you know, that's a wave on top of a wave on top of a wave. These are not, you know, some of these are like, that's a castle he's standing on the balcony of, you know, that's gonna get swallowed. So, you know, it's fucking huge. And just the fact that he can, you know, show that scale is very impressive, man. It's scary.
Yeah. Bruno says I'm not a fan of flying either. Shit's unnatural.
If we were meant to fly, we'd have wings, you know? That's all. No.
Somebody rocketeer me, man.
But no.
Jetpack that's not going to burn my ass off. You know what I mean? Like, why don't we have functional jetpacks? You know? That seems like a safe option, right?
So, you know, I have often wonder if we ever get to the point of like, we technologically we get there, if we'd ever have flying cars as like a mass thing. I think not, just because I'd be like, you know, what if like one malfunctions, you got shit dropping out the sky, you got drunk drivers colliding, shit dropping out the sky. It's just so many X factors that aren't worth the riskiness of that. But yeah, Verno, to your point, you got me really thinking here. Flying is really unnatural when you think about it. I know other people have said it, but really think about it. You're in a metal box just in the air, bro, going at fast speeds, just which you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, and like a pinhole could be the end of you. You know what I mean? Yep. He says a couple cocktails and a Dramamine are essential flight combos for me. All right. Well, sorry to anybody out there who's popping a Xanax right now with the onset of anxiety. Let's get into Saloon's story, man. She's being hunted by these hellhounds, right? Kind of like on the run, like we said earlier, trying to figure out, you know, she's got this narration going on, trying to figure out, you know, what to do, where to go. Completely lost. Weak.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Quick question. Just I want to pick your brain about this. So obviously, Luna her looks changed. She looks like a haggard old crackhead right now, but she previously had like grace. In the background, the image is her. She's got the orange flowing hair like the sun.
Yeah.
Do you think they started off with that image of her, or they started off with this image and worked their way backwards to how she looked when she was younger?
Man, I don't know. He's done. I feel like he started off with the good versions and kind of like worked his way back out of that, like because a lot of it is the loss of color.
You're right.
There's like, I feel like that's one thing that tells us, like, when I think back on that scene in the 3rd or 4th issue when they were all drinking the blue elixir and like how everything was more colorful and vibrant then. I feel like here it's just been I feel like they kind of started with that, and then this was kind of like the blueprint down the road. But yeah, man, like you were saying, the way the sun gods look and their full glory with the hair as like kind of like smoky flame is just so good.
Badass, bro.
Yeah, and I love this. I love the story with Luna and like that. The whole like how her mother became conflicted. Like as we'll find out later through the narration. Like, yes, these people stay young and happy, but at what cost? Like everybody, everyone around them pays the price. I can't do that.
Suffering.
Yeah. Anyway, trying to lose the Hellhound, she basically does by pushing herself through this briar patch, which is a briar patch is labeling it lightly, dude. This thing is a thicket of pain and misery. But she's able to push through. The Hellhounds don't follow her up to the top of this cliff. Now up to the top of this cliff, dude, I had a lot of questions about this liquid, what this thing was, this whole tree. Like, let me ask you this, because I guess you went back and did a little bit more homework or past issues. Did this ring any bells, or is this like all new stuff for you as well? Was there some like connecting part that you saw in any past issue? Because
this was new. What I took from this was she was so sheltered and unprepared to be on her own that she just sees a tree with fruit and doesn't know, like, sometimes fruit out in the wild is poisonous, so you gotta wait for it to ripen. I'm just assuming like she saw some berries, like, oh shit, and they might have been like poisonous berries and gave her some food poison, and that's why she threw them up. And she just so happens, it was a lot going on, because I had to like really kind of analyze it, because I was like, well, so did she spit up and the creature came out of that, or but I think what happened was she got thrown up, the creature pounced on her while she was vomiting. It's just some swamp creature living
yeah, good call. I think that's exactly right though, man. She's been a sheltered child of the gods for all of her life, and now she's got and I love how she like kind of whimpers and calls out for her mother here on her knees. But yeah, so she consumes all these berries off the tree, immediately gets sick, she's throwing up, and then there's like we see beforehand there's this mysterious, like, these little pools of black liquid that are kind of on top of this cliff and surrounding the tree. One of them starts to raise up and kind of form this venom like symbiotic type character. Yeah. Like
it is
exactly. Yeah, it's got teeth, so that's why it reminded me of Venom. And yeah, it comes at her, it kind of like tries to explode on her or whatever, then it bites her. I love that scene. It's got these like different like horse teeth and different mouths. Yeah, it digs into her leg or whatever. She's desperately trying to fight it off, right? It's trying to hold on to her, and then eventually it just forces its way down her mouth, dude, like on some possession type shit. And this was one of my favorite scenes in the book. I love the little dust markings as she's getting pushed off the cliff, and it's just like so
Yeah.
powerful that she can like barely hold on. That was so dope. Just a great little detail. I thought that like really let you feel the full force of this thing, and that it was like really just all encompassing, and,
You know,
and she couldn't get over it. Yeah, go ahead.
this is a good this panel right here. To your point of it being great, because I think this was my favorite. I didn't peep the art, but I nod you to that because that is a good scene. But it's the little captions that or the narration Remender was doing with the story Luna was telling to So Luna about how you know life eventually you're gonna realize life is gonna break you, and but once you realize you'll come out better for that. You know, you'll be a better.
Yeah.
You'll be a stronger person. You know,
Like
all the bad events that you.
Yeah, there's purpose in the pain. It's part of your transformation,
Right.
and I can't, and it's really, it's crazy because you don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, because as this narration is going over, you know, she's just been consumed by this tar monster or whatever, inhabited by this tar monster, and she's fallen off the cliff. So it's like, oh shit, man, what is that? What is that?
But I will say this, like it was like issue 5. I think it ended with her in the fucking chair with her brain getting sucked out like Starship Trooper style, and you know she ended up surviving. I thought she was done for, bro. So
Yeah,
it's like
facts.
with this, you know, it's T'Challa got thrown off the cliff in Black Panther, the movie. You know, he survived, came back and whooped ass. So I feel like she's gonna be on her T'Challa shit, bro. She's gonna,
man, she's Venom now.
She's gonna see
like,
her mom in a vision. Yeah, she's fucking. We are.
It's time to eat some heads, dude.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's time to eat some heads. Oh yeah. We got Warren in the house. Warren Station, bro. Warren said, I found some mushrooms on the mountain and they made me awful dizzy. I can smell the colors too. Station, bro. The snozberries taste
like snozberries.
Taste like snozberries. There you go. Rude in the house. Yet another brother from last night on Paul and 619. Rude, thank you for coming out, man. Hell yeah. We got Rude, we got Christina, we got Vlogs. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Had so much fun hanging out with y'all last night, man. Station. All right, man. Yeah, and that's the end of our episode. Or issue rather. Not episode.
Yeah, worth it.
End of Sacrifice Severed. Yeah. Like it threw me off a little bit, like, you know, but regardless, I love this I love like this two-sided story, and man, I can't wait to see where we're going from here, bro. How about you? Looking forward to the rest?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. One thing with Remender, I never really know how long his series is gonna go, and sometimes it bothers me, but not really. I guess it's just because I guess it's like, oh, I don't want this story to end in 2. It's only got 2 issues left. Like, nah, you know. But I guess it's good that he gets in, gets out. He tells the story he wants to tell. He doesn't linger, and that's why his stories are so good, you know.
Big facts, dude.
Yeah, no, Sacrifice is you know, it's hard for me not to be biased when it comes to him, but this is one of the best books out there for me. You know, every issue I'm always, you know, so
absolutely, man. Y'all check it out. Sacrifice number 7. Like Link said, you can wait for the trades. It's quick reads regardless, but I mean, I think this is one you're gonna want to end up owning in singles when it's all said and done, dude. Like I wish I had Black Science and Tokyo Ghost in singles. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I don't know. Here we are, but I don't know. A guy like Remender, I want to make sure I get every issue moving forward. So
I feel that. I feel that. Tokyo Ghost, that's one I want to. Black Science, I have to work my way up because there's those 3 big omnis, bro. So much. Yeah, I do have every issue though, but I do want an omni of Tokyo Ghost. I think that would present well, or like the trades of.
Hell yeah! Ghost, I think Sean Gordon Murphy went the fuck off on that one, man. That was so good. All right, let's move on to our second new book of the night, Void Rivals number 8. We're all well, besides Captain America, all our new books we're all Image tonight. So yeah, man, I don't know. Shit. We just came back from issue 7. Issue 7 was the re-up after our little break, just like Sacrificers just did. Issue 8, I think I got their, you know what? I think I got their names down now, dude. Derek and Solila.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It only took me 8 issues, bro. And Solila, hold on, I'm not done, bro. I'm not done. So Leela is a Zertonian, and Derek is a Agorian, right?
Oh,
Let's go.
yeah, that's what I
know
like.
what I'm
That's what I
talking
like.
about. I guess, yeah. Guess it's time I do a show on it. But yeah, man, I finally I realized, you know what? I think I got these characters' names down. Like that was one of my revelations when we so yeah, I don't
That's
have
a
to
big
wait on
revelation.
you. Yeah.
No,
That's
no,
really
shit. It's like when I remember a character's name nowadays, like I've always been more of a visual person, but it's like so when I can remember a
right.
character's name, I'm like, hey man, there's something to that. If I could, I got to take note of that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember their names, especially when I started to revote Rebels to kind of, I jumped on the train to become more of a Transformers fan, to understand it more. So I wasn't, necessarily I'm not the biggest fan, so there's no reason for me to remember their names. But for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe they're just catchy. So I think it was Lila that got me, and I was like, all
I love
right,
that name.
because
Yeah.
I remember her name. And Derek, he's the one that had kind of took me like in 2 or 3 issues to kind of nail him down. Handroid, I've known since day one.
Of course, everybody's
best
favorite, man.
character.
And he shines. I think that's one of my favorite. We'll get into it, but that's one of my favorite parts of this issue is the comedic banter between Derek and Android. Really, just it goes up to almost Peter Parker levels, I would say, in this episode. It's just in the face of almost certain death, bro is cracking all the jokes. I love that.
Cracking jokes.
Yeah, some decent variants for this one. Again, man, so many fucking helmet shots. And these helmets are not. There's nothing really I like the reflection that what Kalita is doing in this variant, the 1 in 25 variant. But dude, this one, that's one thing, one knock I will have against this book. The covers have not really grabbed me. They have some great colors. They have some dynamic lighting sometimes, but as far as just standout pieces of art, where I think I have yet to really point to a cover from the series and be like, man, this is the one. You know what I mean? And that's kind of strange. I know at first they were trying to keep things under wraps, so they didn't want to reveal too much. And I think if you look back at number 1, almost all of the covers of the variants are just characters and helmets because they didn't, it's just, I don't know. These helmets are hard to connect to. But yeah, Rod Reese did a great variant. I thought the best cover.
That's dope. Hell yeah.
Proximus, the Zertonian badass who we meet in this issue. All right,
so
we start with
brother.
Yeah, we start with Lila's flashback. They've been kind of sequestered and picked for warrior duty, I guess, kind of as kids, and they're kind of waiting to be called upon here. And it's her brother. They've lost their parents, their family. And so Lila is trying to encourage her brother to be tough. She kind of goads him there into fighting, and she's like, "Yeah, go on and show me." She doesn't want her brother to be considered weak, and I think this is going to have. We don't know who her brother is yet, do we? Or who he ended up becoming. I feel like this is.
I think it's
You think it's
Proxima? I think it's the dude. Yeah, I think
because he does as a kid, he does look because we went over, I think, issue 7 with John. He looks a lot like him as he would as an adult, right?
An adult. And the Proxima, kind of he's like, do I know you? At some point when he first runs into Salila and Derek, and he kind of just brushes it off, like, you look familiar, but I'm not too sure. But I think so. I can't remember. I think Salila had said a few things that kind of made me think that she kind of knew who the dude was or had heard of him. But I feel like, I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I feel like I put my money on him being Proxima, Salila's brother.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to see that reveal.
Yeah.
But anyway, this works. The Zertonian guards come to pick them up, and they're like, "Oh, look at these two. They're already going at each other." And so, her little distraction slash
Goading him.
goading her brother into a fight ended up like working and keeping them alive for the time being. We don't know where it goes from there. I'm sure we'll get more of that story as we move on. Anyway, here in the present, it's Solila and Derek, and they're she's reminiscing, and they're trying to get across this wasteland, or this this to their next spot where they can hopefully find transport, because they're in a bad spot right now. They got no transportation. They need to move quickly. They have no way to do so. They're trying to find like the next junction / depot so they can get what they need and get on their way. Yeah, but they're on foot here, and Proximus is hot on the tail on the bike. So he's hunting them. And we get this like right from the get go, like Homeboy is on their ass, and it's not going to be long before he catches up to him. Yeah, but then we hear these two talking about we need to get to our destination before food runs out. They're Derek's trying to get Solila to stop for a minute. Eventually, Handroid convinces them to stop and eat up or whatever. Get some nutrition in them, get some energy. But this ends up being a bad idea. Hold on 1 second before we get into this. We got Chet. Chet, what up, bro? Chet, y'all, let me talk to y'all real quick. Every day Chet comes in my DMs talking about Colossus can take Doom. Now, have y'all ever, what kind of ridiculous nonsense is that, man? Link, you're an expert. What's the hold up, Link? Come on, that's not a fight.
All right, so Iron Man and Doom are kind of same kill, same level in a sense. I would give Doom the edge, I respect Doom. But I've seen Colossus take down Iron Man, so I would have to assume he could give some he could throw it to Doom.
I feel like if
I feel like Doom.
Go ahead.
Doom were in Supreme, but Colossus would put up a valiant effort.
If they had to go hand to hand, Doom might be in for a bad night, just like he was with Luke Cage, bro. Luke Cage got in there and gave him the hands, was able to. Don't say thank you, Steph, bro. He didn't. He agreed with me. That's that bullshit, Chet.
Yeah.
And Chet wants to be a guest.
I'm just saying. I've seen.
That's cool. I'm just kidding. Love you, Chet.
Doom would come out on top.
All right, there it is. There it is for you, bro. In case you didn't hear him, right, yes. We got DJ Wise, yet another homie from last night on Paul and 619 at work, but leaving the big things up. Thank you, DJ Wise. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate all y'all vlogs, all y'all for coming through and showing me some love, man. Once again, I had a great time with y'all last night. Great to make new friends in this awesome community. Anyway, all right. Now that we got that Colossus nonsense out of the way, Bobby, don't start. Come on, Bobby. Take a look in the mirror, man. Put that mask on. Take a look in the mirror, bro. Come on. Don't forget.
The right writer.
Hell yeah. All right. So anyway, these two get caught snoozing. They take a nap. It's a bad idea because when they wake up, they got incoming. I think this was a missile.
That's my favorite panel of the issue.
Yeah, like an artillery type of drop. You know what I mean? Like because it came in with the wee, and then it was just complete like great sound effects here. Thunk, shakraka crack. Do we got a crack-a-coom or crack-a-loom there?
Crack-coom. A shakraka-coom.
Dude, crack-coom's
or it could be a yeah.
Go ahead. There we go, bro. Like, show me a better sound effect word than crack-coom. I'll wait. Yeah, Solila knows what time it is. No, please, no. And Proxima shows up with the Akira look and the right quote, bro. It's time for both of y'all to die. And the name of everything holy or some shit. All right, look, I was saying earlier, I love Derek right from the outset of this fight. I already hate this guy. He says that shit literally made me laugh out loud reading it. I was just like, because you're like, oh shit, like he's got up to him already, and then Derek just kind of cuts the tension with the comedic knife. I love that. And then
There was
Solana.
this line.
Go ahead.
No, I will. This line and one other line. We'll get to it, but like you said, Derek, bro, his borderline Peter Parker Spider-Man banter.
Dude, that man
type
came
of
up out
shit
of
is
his shell, as far as I'm concerned. This issue, this was like, he really turned the page for me. Yeah, like just so much great comedy in the face, like we said, in the face of certain death. So Lila informs him, of who this is. This is Proximus, the deadliest Sertonian warrior. We will not survive this. So yeah, he's trying to get Android to charge up, and Android's like, you're not getting through that armor with my blast, bro. And he's like, Jesus Christ, you too? Like, he can't get have some faith. He can't get anybody to believe in him. So Lila and Derek open fire on Proximus, but it has no effect. Eventually they kind of work a way to blast. Android blasts him in the soft spot, I guess, on his neck armor, and so Lila is able to get the spear through his midsection or something like that. It appeared. They kind of lured him into a trap where he thought Derek was down. Derek sprung up, hit him with the Android, and then Lila was able to get the spear in him.
No, I think Derek was unconscious. So this is why I love Android, just because I think this was just Android acting on his own, bro. And because okay, so the reason I think that there's a line coming up, I think it's on like the next page where see, I love that it worked like Androids, but he's like, Android says something like, your vitals seem to be stabilizing. Are you conscious again? He's like, yeah, I just thought I'd kind of lay here just a little bit longer, but so that, yeah, the great scene, bro.
Oh yeah, man, this is fantastic. Of course, like she, puts the spear through him, but through Proximus, but he's still not finished. And at this point, they trigger the giant explosion. Again, this is Android, right? Is this Android at work?
Yeah. Yes, that did the explosion. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, the explosion kind of scatters them all to the winds. Proximus disappears. Derek wakes up, and he's looking for Solila, and he can't find her, and we get a pretty gnarly final image of her. Dude, she's impaled by her own spear. So we're assuming that Proximus did this to her because he had her by the neck before. Either this or the blast did it, but either way, she's in a bad way, man. Yeah, it's going to be on Derek and Android now to kind of save the day, get her to safety / help, and try and save her life. So yeah, I can't wait to see where this goes, man.
Yeah,
this was
really only last issue
one thing.
Bad.
Yeah, only one thing happened in this, but it was still dope.
No, yeah, I was gonna say this was a step up for last issue for me, where it's like last issue wasn't bad, like I was saying, but it just like we were saying last time, it was a lot of like just kind of getting people caught up to where everyone left off and shit, which is not bad, but I'd already remembered where we left off, so for me it was kind of like I'm just kind of touching base again. But this one felt like we got the ball moving again, because they're already in a bad spot, like you were saying earlier, and now with Solila impaled in the middle of them being stranded there, really,
down bad,
what miracle
bro.
are they gonna pull?
Right? Can't wait to see where it goes. Oh yeah, so that'll do it for our new books this week, guys. There was a couple others we wanted to pull from, but honestly, those two felt like the most solid, dependable choices. Those are two Image books that I highly recommend. They've been great series so far. So, y'all make sure you check out Sacrificers and Void Rivals. Everything in the Energon Universe has been fire. Bobo says I haven't read any of this, but it looks pretty cool. Yeah, man, it's dope. Honestly, like I said before, Void's been my favorite series just because it hasn't had G.I. Joe or Transformers to lean on as an IP, and they've really done a great job of making a intriguing, dope comic, dude. Like it's great in its world building and its character development, and it does. I think both Nick And somebody else said this. I think it definitely would read better in a collected type version, but regardless, whether you read it collected or in single, check it out. It's worth the time. You said I picked up number one due to the hype of the mystery, but I should dive back in and check it. Yeah, I highly recommend. If you guys have enjoyed the rest of the, if you're reading Cobra Commander and Duke and Transformers, then you should definitely be on this one. All right, let's get into our throwback section of the day. Now I got to change this to throw or way back Wednesday, but right now it's still Throwback Tuesday.
Throwback Tuesday. Oh, dang. Way back in the day.
Oh, and today, man, speaking of Rick Remender, we had to do this one some justice. His run on Captain America from 2013 got John Romita Jr. on art, Klaus Janson on inks, Dean White on colors for the most part. He has some help. All these guys have, I think, besides John Romita, these guys have help at some point. But regardless, like, Romita does the art for the first 10 issues of this run. It's the Dimension Z arc. It's one of my favorite cat books. All right, at this point in time, this is 2013. Remender has just come off Uncanny X-Force, right? Runs. He's also just starting to do some of his first work at Image, I think, or at least his creator-owned stuff with like Black Science and some of those. I know he had some before that, but like he's really starting to get his feet with creator-owned stuff, or get on his feet with creator-owned stuff. I think Low started in 2014.
Low, yep.
Tokyo Ghost was after that. So like, yeah, I think he's starting to really gather that energy and figure out where he wants to go and how he wants to make his mark on this game. However, he's coming off a pretty incredible run at Marvel. And I've always been curious as to what happened to make it break bad, because the guy was on track to be like there. Maybe he just didn't. He was just tired of not getting paid what he was worth, and I can completely understand that. But
Remender's always had that.
Go ahead.
He's always had that punk attitude, bro. The like kind of anti-establishment sort of sense. So I think he realized what a lot like long before, where he was just more of a realist about the situation. Where a lot of writers are kind of realizing that now, if you want to make something in this medium, or if you want to see some sort of profit, sadly, you need to kind of like do the indie work, and that's where you're gonna see the more return for your work, because you could create great characters and storylines all day for Marvel, and you're gonna get like a $5,000 check like Ed Brubaker did. You would think after him creating the Winter Soldier and them having Winter Soldier still one of Marvel's best movies, you would think that he would have at least, I mean, what, 10K, right? That's like the most you can pull out of your ATM at like one time. Give him a $10,000 check. At least give him that. But so I definitely understand why Remender dipped, bro. He saw the writing on the wall. Make you guys all this money and not seeing shit for it. Let me if I'm gonna put all this energy into something, let me at least see a return from it. Because he's it's easy to. I could see it being easy to get disillusioned, where it's like, bro. Like I put a lot into that story, like and you guys are just gonna, we're a dime a dozen. We'll find another writer, find another artist to tell stories about our characters. So I think that's what it was. He was just like, bro, I can't. And he had been, I think he was just come out of his exclusive contract with Marvel too, and because he had been signed. I think they signed him 2009 exclusively. I know they had they had developed like this.
No, go ahead.
I think they had developed. I know they had developed this imprint called Icon around that time as like a gateway for their exclusive writers to tell their indie stories. But I don't know if he ever jumped on that train. I know Fraction and Bendis and people like that told stories to that, but I don't think he ever did. But yeah, he's always he's kind of I don't. He's almost reminds me of like Kirkman in a sense where it's like he started off, he was very indie, he was a big proponent of like indie comics and like making, that's his motto now. But when he got his exclusive contract with Marvel, it's money. It's a consistent paycheck. He kind of had to put that ideology aside and but now he's back on it.
Yeah, I think Uncanny X-Force was like the height of Marvel trying to make him happy and give him all the, like, dude, Jerome Pena, Raphael Albuquerque, Assad Ribic, Billy Sam, Mark Brooks, Robbie Rodriguez, Greg Picchini, Phil Noto, and Tedesco did art on that run for like a couple issues apiece. Like, he had a murderer's row of artists on that run. So he's coming off that success. Before that, he had Punisher, he had Open Castle, just some like massive books. And like you said, man, this guy had to follow up Ed fucking Brubaker on Captain America. Like, no, thank you. Like, that to me is the greatest.
This is
all time. And it really was. This was like like of all things you could do and take and go from, like, this was like this crazy, insane, like mutated world, Arnim Zola, Zolandia type like arc was just like the perfect way to bait that hook and bring people back in for like another round. I thought it was fantastic. And then, like, I think you really sharpened his sword. And guys, this is going to be a two-parter. So we're going to do 1 through 8 tonight. We're going to do 9 and 10, the follow-up to this arc. A week after we're going to do Inferno with Verno next week. So that's going to be all X-Men. But after that, we're going to come back, finish up this arc with the last 2 issues, and then we're going to use that to transition into the all-new Captain America, in which Sam Wilson gets crowned. And we get our amazing Baron Blood, the Nazi vampire storyline. One of my favorite 6 issues, like, period, ever from any Marvel book. I just love that. Remender, Stuart Eminem did the art. So damn good. Anyway, but tonight we're focusing on 1 through 8 of this. Yeah, man. So we know where we're at. Coming into it, we're off of Brubaker. Ed's white hot with his writing, and he takes. To me, this is some of Romita's best artwork. I thought the coloring in this was brilliant. I thought having Jansen ink him was huge. It reminds me of like those Punisher comics from the 90s, all those Warzone, those infamous amazing books that JR and Klaus did together. But yeah, man, straight out of the gate, we waste no time really getting at the chicken here in issue 1. It starts off with some great Cap action, obviously saving this plane of folks or whatever. But before you know it, he's transported into this this kind of like secret subway / train that ends up being a mechanism or a portal to another dimension, and it's run by Arnim Zola, his longtime Hydra foe, and his mutates, quote unquote, these creatures that he's created on this in this otherworldly dimension. Sharon, this will come up later here at the end of the our run tonight. Sharon Carter is the last to see him off before he gets on the train. Not that she suspects something is wrong, but she's the last one that sees him disappear. Anyway, he's on the train. Right. It's supposed to be one of these special sealed trains. Like this apparatus comes down and locks down on his shoulders, trying to keep him still or whatever. But then, like, some needle comes up, jabs him in the back of his neck, and he's out. When he wakes up, I didn't show this part, but there's a test tube, like a giant vertical test tube next to him with a baby in it, like a child in suspended animation or whatever. And he's on an operating table locked in with Zola. And dude, I love the Zola design. Did you like this design? I loved his design in this. It was so good. It's got that retro like 50s, 60s pulpish. Like, I feel like you could pick up any kind of sci-fi mag and see some character like this, but like at the same time, it's just
And
Remender,
it's very classic and retro.
It is, and throughout this, these 10 issues, Remender takes a couple moments to kind of like in flashback a couple page flashbacks to kind of like tell the story of who Zola was and back in the 1920s and stuff, and we'll get to that. But just how evil and insidious this man is. But yeah, so Cap is being held prisoner. He's got this giant syringe or some type of device stuck in his chest. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. Man. This is like he woke up to the ultimate nightmare, right? Zola's got him pinned down. He's got some baby that kind of looks like him in a test tube next to him, and he can't believe what's going on. He's like, "What in the fuck? Get me out of here!" So he rages out. He's able to remove the shackles, escape from this complex, and this metropolis, this like random ass metropolis he's in. He grabs the baby. He's able to grab the baby and all the confusion and jump on this ship and try to get out of there. Unfortunately, at the end of this is issue 1, the ship it doesn't reach its mark. Like he's miles away from the city that he first found himself in, but he's stranded. And the baby's still alive, but like as you see at the bottom of the page at the end of issue 1, he's a castaway in Dimension Z. He has no idea what the hell is going on, how he got there, and what the situation is with all this cloning and these weird creatures. Did you like these time jumps in this, bro? Because we go from 1 year to 10 years later. I think all in all, he spent something like 11 or 12 years in Dimension Z. Did you like it?
Oh, initially I remember thinking like, Jesus, man, that's that's a lot of time we're missing in between. But overall, once you see how time operates I can see why he did that. Because time does operate. So with the way time operates in Dimension Z and the significant jumps he made, it couldn't have chronicled the day-to-day of Steve Rogers and have the head contrast the impact of him being, with Sharon. It comes into play. We'll get to that.
Yeah, hell yeah. Bruno said Inferno with Bruno.
What about you though? Did you?
Dude, it does. Bruno, we gotta get you like
though.
I need your shock jock. I need your shock jock voice on a promo, bro. Inferno with Bruno. Some shit like that.
Inferno with Bruno.
Yeah, and flames and explosions and I can see it in my head. Anyway, yeah, I love the time jumps. I thought it the 1 year later is kind of like whatever, but like as we'll get into like down the line when it jumps like 10 years, you're like, man, shit is real. You know what I mean? It kind of enforces like
yeah.
And I like the way you use it as a narrative device. I thought it worked. But yeah.
Yes.
I enjoyed
it.
All right. So we wake up, like I said, start of issue 2, it's 1 year later. And he's got Ian, the boy or the baby that he escaped with, who's his son. He was created using Steve's DNA. Zola later claimed that it was Zola and his quote unquote mother or whatever, but I don't know. To me, Ian's always been Steve's son. Like based off of some of these interactions to begin with, and then later in the story. So we come to learn about like Dimension Z a little bit more and the characters who inhabit it, and we meet the Phrox, Phrox, who are these Kirby-esque monsters who have kind of escaped. They're separate from Zolandia, but they're afraid to mess with Arnhem. Like everybody on this planet or in this dimension is terrified of Arnhem and his soldiers because he can create all sorts of big bads to throw at you. And essentially they've been leading this society in hiding. So they have a whole society and culture and group of people set up, but they're in hiding. They don't want to mess with Zola. They don't want to, go against him, much less confront him. And Steve basically, that's one of the great parts of the story, I think, is Steve, gets to know them, kind of adapts their cause. When all hell breaks loose towards the end and it comes down to saving people, Steve makes sure that, whatever's left of the Phrox is looked out for. I just love how they use the Frogs to kind of put him with another unserved or undervalued section of society, at least in Zolandia. And like, that's always been Steve's bread and butter, what he's a champion of. Yeah. Like what he's stood up for. I thought that was dope. I don't know. Did you like the Frogs? Did you like the designs on them? It reminded me of Kirby. So
No, yeah. Robbie, it's on Robbie's stream. I said we were doing this book, and Robbie was like, "Oh, this 70s one." Then he's like, "Yeah, it kind of reminds like Jack Kirby's stuff." And I hadn't read that, so I didn't know that. But now that I have heard that, I could definitely see that it does have like a very 70s flair to it.
Got that Mesoamerican type feel that he gives like the Eternals and stuff.
Yes, it definitely reminded me of like some Eternals, like almost like offshoots of maybe the Deviants or some shit like that, But yeah, these guys being offshoots of Deviants.
Yeah, if they brought in the Eternals into the equation, that'd be cool. Like a good Avengers.
Man, Avengers story. I'm jumping too far ahead, but I want to get it out real quick. Man, Marvel, they piss me off. I mean, when is Marvel, DC, or some comic company not gonna piss me off at some point? But I was just thinking how cool it was when Sam's still Cap right now, but when Sam was initially Cap, wasn't Ian running around? Wasn't he like Sam's partner in that series?
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly. Yep. That's so cool, bro. You had the Captain America, Steve's partner, and then you had his Bucky, or Sam's Bucky, essentially, and Ian, who was Steve's son. So you had two Steve proteges filling in those roles, and Marvel had to go and fuck it all up. Sorry, that reminded me of Harold and Kumar, if you guys have ever seen it. Do you remember the scene where he's getting the medical weed card from his dad? He's like, "Do not daddy me, you're not going to this." Sorry, this sounds bad, but this is how he sounds. So he's like, "Do not daddy me or nothing. I did not waste all this time for you to just go and fuck it all up." The interview, because he was I think from like Bangladesh or India or something like that.
Yeah.
And Kelpan was like, he was some entitled son who just was very privileged and take anything seriously. But yeah, Marvel decided to go and fuck it all up, man. Fortunately, it seems it seems like I've noticed that with them, when they've got a grudge against the writer, and let it be a big writer that did big things for him, they're gonna go out of their way to they're gonna act like you guys didn't do all that years of work you just did down the toilet. Morrison, when it came to Magneto and Zorn, Magneto died at the very end of New X-Men. They're like, nope. When Morrison was gone, like, nope, Magneto's alive. That was a clone. That was someone else. Fraction, I feel like they kind of backpedal on a lot of work he did for certain characters once he left, and then with the Remender, bro, it's just like, the only reason I think they kept Sam as Cap was because, not to get too political, Marvel's been writing they've been trying to, I don't want to say agenda waves because that sounds bad. That's not agenda, but they're trying to be more inclusive. And around that time, 2014 is when that started to pop off. And that's a great thing. I love Sam's Cap, but I think Marvel was very spiteful, and the only reason they kept that was because readers really responded to this. But any other time, Marvel's quick to like, all that work you did for us for the last few years, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, big facts.
Marvel can be very big.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying that last week, like Punisher Born. How can you give us a series like Punisher Born, but then you know what I mean? We get some of this. We get Jackpot. We get Jackpot at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? It's just. I don't know. Sorry, Herm. I love you, Herm. All right, yeah. So where were we? Okay, this is what I was talking about with the flashbacks, man. I think this is the beginning of issue 3 or so. We get a flashback to the Zola ancestral castle here, and Homeboy's looking for his wife who works at the castle, whatever. You know, oh, when she did not arrive for work, I assumed it was due from disgrace because she did a crappy job last time she was here and then left. Then you come to find out this man has turned her into a dog, bro. Like she's half. I don't know. I should have blown it up. Yeah, she's got a human's head, but like a dog body on her. And I love this panel transition by Remender and Ramita of like him reaching out the hand and touching the side of the face, and then going up and touching. I think that's Ian's sister, Jet Black, who we'll get to here in a second. But yeah, anyway,
Jet Black, definitely
Steve here's
fan.
Dude, we're gonna talk about it because I think there's other influences there. But yeah, yeah, Steve's hearing voices in his head. Evil voices he's trying to turn out. He finds out like Zola, that needle at the beginning in his chest was he got the Zola
chest in your pain.
Great shot here, like of him kind of ripping open his shirt and seeing Zola. He's got the Zola face right there in like the middle of his chest. I love that. Such a great piece of art. Anyway, now we're 11 years later, right? Homeboy's a little man. Steve's out here training him with the shield, all that stuff. And the hunt for the Zola's still hunting him, and the hunt for the frog, like he's still with the frogs or whatever. Eventually Zola learns the location of the frogs and attacks, and it's not good. Here we meet Jet Black, who is Ian's sister, and like I guess the other clone. Now I was always unclear. Did she have Steve's blood in her? Was she Steve's daughter? Like, because they always referred to Ian as Steve's son, but I felt like she was almost Ian's twin, and she didn't really get any of that same recognition. But I guess not.
I took it as how I read it was that it was Steve was saying Ian was his son, or just because he had him since birth and like raised him, But I think biologically it was probably a product of Zola's bloodline, and something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you don't know with Zola though, bro, because I wouldn't put it past him to have some DNA sample of Steve Rogers from.
And obviously, with like the mutates he makes later on, they have Steve Rogers type DNA in them. But this is who she reminded me of,
right? Yeah,
Exterminatrix from Marvel Boy. I got heavy vibes with the outfit and like the whole, and I know Remender's a big Morrison fan, but
her
that's
attitude.
definitely, yeah, man. Like she gave me those vibes.
I could definitely see that.
Oh yeah,
and even her, not per se, but like her super senses shit she was doing. Like I know, what's her face, the dominatrix chick she didn't have powers like that, but she had access to a lot of different shit because of her dad, his collection. Yeah, that's a good call. I could, yo, I'm not gonna lie though, the name fucked me up just because I'm like, bro, it's Cowboy Bebop. Like, I know it's not the character, but Jet Black, bro, you come on, that's the Cowboy Bebop name.
Yeah, it was.
I respect it. It's Remender Cowboy Bebop, two of my favorite things.
It could have been a little bit better, but I feel you. But yeah, she she gives Steve the business. Steve fights back, but ultimately it's Zola that puts him down. One of the greatest little scenes from the Ramita art here in these 10 issues. I love that.
Hell yeah.
I love that of him punching down the shield. Yeah, and he's trying to, fully, exterminate Steve here. He's got him on the ropes. He kind of kicks him off the cliff. He thinks he's done for, but Steve's barely hanging on. And of course, Zola's still there in his chest. I love how he pulls this Harry Carey samurai move and kind of guts him out. Like, it's just so gangster, dude. And I love that shloop, that sound effect as Zola's whatever essence falls on the ground.
That might be one of my favorite. Cooking my feel on that, but shloop is up there for me, bro. It just evokes something, dog. Like,
right? And
I'm like, what just fell out of somebody?
Right? And that coupled with the "I'll never give up hope" like dialogue, fucking A. Like, great moment there. And then you get this Frank Miller-esque,
Beautiful
like,
shot.
yeah, in the rain, I'm coming for my son. What? Like, let's go, dude. Great. I think this is like the end of issue 5 or 6 here. So we just got a couple more to go. Yeah,
What
I
I
love this.
loved about this run.
Go ahead.
Oh my bad. No, I was just gonna say what I love about this run was it's just it's pretty much Steve getting by on true grit. Like it reminds me of Iron Man 3 in this sense where it's like Tony could have called the Avengers, but he chose not to. But it's really just at one point it's like Tony didn't have a suit. He was just kind of relying on his wit, his intelligence, And with Steve, he's just relying on his fucking true grit, bro. Him as a person is pulling miracles out of his ass throughout this shit. So
it is, man. He's got nothing else besides like
I say that
his ambition. Like, it's so great.
Yeah,
I love how he used the bullet. I forget what the bullet says on it, but like the bullet's always his reminder that he could take himself out and it could be all over with. But like that's the thing that keeps him going, and he pulls that out when he needs that extra little bit of oomph. I love that, like the symbolism with that. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, here. So we open up, I think, issue 5 or 6 with Jet Black recalling, like, running into Steve for the first time. Just great artwork by Romita and Klaus Janson and the colorist on this episode. There she is in front of this giant Zola. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna say real quick. I speak on JR. I know he's divisive for some as of late, but I feel like because I think this was like one of the last few things he did before he went to DC for a little bit to work with Jeff Johns on Superman. And I love both of them, but I feel like that's when his art kind of started to take a turn that he's never, because even when his stuff on Avengers in 2010 and certain, it wasn't maybe age, he's always been consistent, but yeah, like this shit is beautiful right here. I can't see how anyone could complain about this artwork. Some of his stuff as of late is I still like JR. I don't think he's bad, but
no.
I
this reminds me of his Superman, his All-Star Superman run with Frank Miller. A lot of like just where he was at in terms of pencils and like a lot of the colors and stuff like that. I feel like are similar, like a lot of purples and pinks, but like the same. Like that story was just so batshit bananas and like, but he drew the shit out of it, man. Like I felt like he but
no one draws
like
a more beat up.
Like this was like him kind of his last hurrah before I think it started to regress a little bit.
Yeah. No, but real quick, I would say no one else draws a beat up person better than JR though. I will say that. Like
and the rain, in the rain. Nobody does.
Yes.
Yeah. In the rain, like bro, nobody does the rain like in the rain like JR, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, so she's reporting to that giant Zola, and we find out like Zola's been like like what the process is for like mutation for some of these things and turning them either to like mutated Captain Americas or mutates in general to do his bidding. But he's been taking members of the Frocks who were aligned with Steve Rogers and transforming them in his horrific experiments. He also once again has his hands on Ian now, and he's re-indoctrinating Ian. He's telling him that his father was a liar, and because it kind of gives him the Clockwork Orange treatment here. Throws the glasses on, tells him his father was a capitalist pig, a guardian for greed, and greed in the fat cats and shit like that. That he never did anything good a day in his life. And Ian starts to take the bait. Steve's trying to work his way through the facility. He gets in literally from the ground up. He finds the cave that he first found himself in when he got there. He's like, you know what? I could probably find a way to go home right now, get the Avengers to come back, but fuck this. I'm doing it on my own. So he literally winds up in the, I think you can see it here. Yeah. The bottom right-hand he's literally in the he's down at the bottom of the chute where they dump all these mutated bodies. So like any mutates who don't work out go down the chute into this to the spot where Steve's at, and he decides to climb up the chute, and take on the enemy that way. In the meantime, like we said, Ian's getting re-indoctrinated. Steve's going to fight his way through the facility. He ends up getting taken out of the window by one of the cat mutates, but fights his way back, and eventually he has to take on Jet Black. Jet Black is, giving them the business or whatever. Fortunately, though, there's Frocks getting thrown off the platform. Steve jumps off the platform to save one of the Frocks, and it's just him and the Frocks hanging by the rope or whatever. And Jet Black's up there on the walkway with both of their fates in her hands, and she decides to do the right thing and pull them both up. She says, "Father, forgive me," before she does. She's going against like everything she's been taught to believe in, but you can tell from the beginning that Steve's had an effect on her, and it's starting to convert her to his philosophy and way of life. Anyway, this happens. He gets back up on the plank, and then boom, man, he gets shot. And who fucking shot him? I love this shot of Ian. Hey, Dad. And blasted him, and we get another one of these Captain America mutates. All right, I think.
Tell me that doesn't look a little bit like, it reminds me of Hit Girl a little bit. Just all he's missing is the iPhone,
Yeah, the outfit is crazy, Hit Girl. You're right. That's so true. Hell yeah. All right, so Jet Black makes a promise to Steve to get Ian and the rest of the Frocks out on a escape pod to safety up on the surface. Meanwhile, Steve's going to go deal with Zola, but first, dude, he's got to fight Ian. Ian is like bloodthirsty and wants his dad dead. This was one of my favorite shots from the whole thing. I thought this was absolutely spectacular. Yeah, Ian's beating on him with a shield, backs against the wall, totally indoctrinated. And then I love this moment where, you choose your own name. Steve tells him to choose his own name, and he ends up choosing Ian. He starts to break down, and then boom, right in that moment, he's blasted through the neck. Another incredible shot from JR. Dude, who shot him? It's fucking Sharon Carter. What? Sharon Carter is back on the scene like, I'm here to help Steve. And she really thinks she just did a good thing. Like, and I don't blame her either. Like, she saw some maniacal, crazy-ass kid, about to kill Steve. So, yeah, dude, just a bizarre ending. We'll cover the final 2 issues of this arc 2 weeks from now, but yeah, dude, hell of a cliffhanger. I can't wait to finish it up with you guys.
When I first read that, I was like, oh, this has got to be another Zola thing, bro. Like, that can't be the Sharon Stone, right? Like, come on now, bro. Like,
yeah, man.
But is it? We'll find out.
Right? It is, because she was the one. Sharon was the last one who saw him get on the train. So, all right, dude. I thought we would do. We haven't done it in a few weeks, man. I thought we'd do a Guess My Government. How do you feel about that tonight? I feel like we'll probably do it.
Guess who?
Government? Ah, the government!
All right, guys. This is where we put up a civilian name of a superhero / supervillain from the comic book universe at large, and you guys try to guess it / link. Tries not to answer within 3 seconds. So, night. Yuriko Oyama is our character for tonight. Do we have any guesses from the chat before Link goes ahead and puts his wager down? Yuriko Oyama. Any supervillain, superhero guesses from the chat? I'll give y'all a few seconds. Especially viewers at home, of course. Everyone who's
Can we get a hint?
We appreciate y'all. Marvel. Do you need another one?
Is it? Yeah, one more.
Villain. Okay. Marvel villain. Any guesses from the chat? Chat's mighty quiet. Bobby, Bruno, Christina, E. Well, there's only 3 people in here right now. Those of you at home, who is Yuriko Oyama? Link, you got a guess, bro?
I'm probably wrong. I want to say Deathstrike, but someone.
Hey, my boy came through once again. It is Lady Deathstrike. Yes.
X-Men 2 stuff. She's always cracking her knuckles and shit. I love that. It's very. I always wanted, when I saw X-Men 2 as a teenager, I was gonna say I was a kid, 15, 14. I was 14, but she's doing this. I always was jealous. I was like, I wish I could crack my fucking knuckles like that. You know,
Oh,
not in
man,
reality. They're
what?
probably
Yes.
just.
That
No,
she
it
was
seems so
dope.
satisfying when she's just like,
Yeah, right. She was dope in the she was dope in that movie, man. Like, not too shabby.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Verno says I'm confused. My bad, bro. I didn't mean to startle you. I'm pretty honest. My bad. But yeah, there she is. Lady Deathstrike. What, she's got the adamantium fingers, and similar, I guess, construction. Dude, I wish I had
It's a dope.
prepared.
So I've never seen that Salvador LaRocca.
Yeah, man. There's yeah.
That's
Jim Lee in the first slide. One of my favorite Wolverine villains. Leader. I love it when she's leader of the Reavers, dude. I love the Reavers. I don't know about you, but
oh yeah, I was gonna say I wish they would use him. I know they used him in Logan, but I feel like that's an idea that they could still use in like X-Men movies, you know, proper. Yeah, I was gonna say it's crazy how like, well, I mean, because I guess I was a few years removed by the time I saw him, but as a kid, I thought like people like Deathstrike, because of the cartoon, I thought like people like Deathstrike and Sabretooth were connected to Wolverine since day one. You know, like they had been around since but you know, Wolverine was around for a few years before their connections to him were made. So I always find that interesting. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I also at one point, because of the cartoon, I thought Nightcrawler, because I'd seen the cartoon before I read comic books. So when I got to the comics, I thought that was like Beast before he transformed. I thought he was like Nightcrawler that transformed into Beast at one point. Because they were both blue and shit and agile, you know, but no, that wasn't the case.
Them blue motherfuckers. Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, I think what you said is very true, man. Lady Deathstrike and Cyber are two great Wolverine villains, blessed with adamantium, who you don't see very much these days, and I would love to see back into the Wolverine canon. Great
poison-tipped adamantium claws, bro.
Dude, right?
Come on.
And it's like, dude, that whole Sam Keith hallucination arc in Marvel Comics Presents, like, it's fucking terrible, and it's like impossible to read, but like at the same time, there's something there to be used in the future. Like, you know, and Cyber is a badass. I don't know. Wolverine spent half of that arc like having bad dreams about what he was going to do to him. Like, you know what I mean? There's something to be in mind there. He said all blue people look the same to me too. Oh yeah. All right, real quick before we get out of here, let's get to the PCB schedule. I do not have a new slide for Geeks Unleashed. Y'all make sure you check out the Generation X review with Lynk and Fable. Of course,
they just did X-Men 2.
Ooh,
I think they just dropped it today. Yeah.
Okay.
Just the first X-Men. Yeah.
Okay, the first X-Men movie, a classic in my eyes. At Geeks Unleashed on all your favorite or your preferred podcast platform. Robbie, of course, they did Gladiator on Monday night for PCB movie night. I think he's re-releasing these Marvel Comics in the 80s type joints, but he's also doing his new top-down comic flip throughs. Y'all make sure you check out our fearless leader. We got Nick at Comic Culture on YouTube doing the new comic book day haul. The FOC cutoff, of course, Nick at Night every Saturday, and he just dropped this new conversation or creative conversation with Barry McLean last week. Y'all make sure you check out Nick. Always doing amazing things, man. Can't wait to see what Nick's doing in the future, dude. Big things for the boy. Tomorrow night, dude, I am so happy to get back with my brothers, man. I miss Verno so much. It got to the point where I was like, does he still like me? I haven't been on Blood Splatter Chatter in like a minute. So like I started to get self-conscious, but I'm so glad to be back with Fable, with Link, one of our old school Fab 4 live streams, dude, for Satanic Hispanics, a Spanish horror anthology movie. I'm going to be watching this one tomorrow during the day off. I can't wait to get back with the fellas, especially Verno. I miss you, you chipmunk cheek motherfucker. And then, of course, dude, Friday night, 9 o'clock, we got a PCP show Friday night, dude. I cannot wait. I know my boy Link's going to be there. Link, we doing 3 shows this week together, bro. Let's go.
Man,
They need us out here, man.
I never turn down fun. I always like to give the people what they need. I will say Fable confused me earlier, man, because he had said 9 p.m. then 6 p.m. So I was like, which one is it? Which one is it? He was like, I only did 6 p.m. for the other time zoners. I was like, but Eastern is the only time zone that matters. We all know this.
Big facts.
But I'm just kidding.
I mean, if you're in Mountain Time, I just feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
You're not even like Central or Pacific, bro. You're just whatever that is.
Small and niche.
Yeah, shout out. I love you, bro. Oh yeah. Can't wait for Friday night. And of course, our brother E at 9-Panel Grid. I take again, I'm gonna say it again. I take credit for all this guy's success. He saw me doing this thing starting up last year, and he's like, all right, if this idiot jackass is gonna be out here running his mouth weekly, there's no way I'm not gonna be making videos. So of course he comes out the gate blazing. Incredible quality, great insights. Y'all make sure you check out at 9-Panel Grid on YouTube, on IG. He's doing great things, man. Such an intelligent, insightful dude.
Absolutely.
Y'all check him out. Herman Tom breaking down ASM every Sunday, roughly around 1 p.m. at Big Herm Collectibles 4428 on YouTube. Y'all make sure you go check out Big Herm, man. Talk. I don't have any new thumbnails for Talk, but Talk's always there, man. We love
Every Saturday.
Yeah. Always supporting us in the back chat. And of course, Jelani and Brooks at Go Figure Reviews. Y'all check it out, man. They're putting in major work, doing multiple reviews a week, just doing some great stuff over there. And also on PCP movie nights every Monday with Robbie. So y'all check them out. And that will be it for the PCP schedule moving forward, man. Like I said, we got you covered Monday, Tuesday, I think every weekday night for sure.
Yeah.
The weekends we're kind of hit and miss, but dude, Monday through Friday we got you on lock. Whether it's Robbie, whether it's Fable, whether it's Link and I, whether it's E, whether it's Nick, y'all come through and check us out, man. Anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here tonight, my brother?
Thank you guys watching with us. For all rewatchers or people in the rewind, thank you as well. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to others. See you next week.
Oh yeah, beautiful, bro. I just, in light of recent events, take that extra moment to really think about what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're moving through this life, and the legacy you want to leave. I don't know, man. Words count. Some things you can't take back. So just remember that moving forward.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I love y'all. Thank y'all all for coming out. Shout out to everybody from Christina, Vogs, Rude, everybody who I hung out with last night that came in and like new friends I made. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate seeing y'all. To all my faithful, love y'all. We will see you next week. Inferno with Verno. Then we're going to come back the week after that. Finish up this Remender Cat run. I can't wait. A couple great shows in the pipeline. So we will see y'all next week at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, the only time that matters. Until then, y'all, stay